It's not.
I'd like to buy the world a Coke in perfect harmony.
I'd like
Everybody.
you to shut the fuck up.
uh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's going to be that kind of show.
It's going to be that kind of show. It's going to
Beebs,
be that kind of
start it
show.
off.
Well, hey, welcome back to the Unfiltered Sports Weekly. I'm the Beebs.
I'm the cab.
I'm St. Joe.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? Other than the song, the singing was decent.
I
I
was
think.
doing good.
It wasn't very good.
I thought it was decent.
It must have been my mic. It's
For what
probably
he's
my mic.
working with. But I mean, that's what you get on a week where there's not a lot going on in sports, right?
Yeah, this is true.
There's college basketball.
There
Yeah,
was.
there's college basketball. There was a good game on between the Gators and the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, who won that game? What's that game called?
Why don't you give us the play-by-play, Cub?
The play-by-play is we scored more than them. They tried to. You know what though? The Gators try to fuck it up. They really do. You know, the whole time I was telling my son who I was watching with it, I'm like, there's absolutely no way the Gators are winning this game. Yeah, but we're up by 10. Doesn't matter. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, look, now we're up by 5. Hey, look, now we're up by. Hey, it's a basket game. There's 29 seconds to go. But you know, Kentucky pulls a couple turnovers. That's fine. Make a couple dunks. You know, win it by 4. You know, that's all good. Another basketball game that took in was last Saturday night with Duke Carolina, and that was a pretty good matchup with I believe I didn't catch the very end, but when I turned it off, Carolina was winning pretty handily.
Yeah.
You know, so
I've watched that North Carolina team for 3-4 years now. Some of those guys have been they're seniors now. I mean, they've been playing for 4 years. They have a pretty good team.
Yeah.
I mean, most of your teams that have talent, they don't keep their talent because they drop in for the NBA. But they're sticking around now for a little bit longer, and college basketball is actually starting to look a little bit better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you know,
what do you know?
You know who's got a good team? Purdue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you name one of the 2 teams that have beaten Purdue?
I'm gonna go with Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. Oklahoma.
Well, of course.
It always goes back to motherfucking Oklahoma.
Yeah,
it always goes to. I mean, I wonder if Sam Bradford's playing fucking basketball now.
He must be.
Yeah,
He's out there just draining threes. Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Know, is he better than Joakim Noah too?
Probably.
Anyhow,
Probably.
you know, who's the other team?
I have no idea. I don't care.
It's somebody stupid like Marquette.
Oh, probably. I mean, it was early on in the season.
Marquette
right?
did not beat them.
No?
I don't think they did beat them. Big East, it was tough, but Big Ten's going to be. It was big. It was a tough game. The Badgers lost to them, and they were right there, and then the Purdue came down to the end and showed who they were.
Purdue lost. Let's see. Purdue lost to.
It was a good game, but the Badgers just couldn't hang with them.
They lost to Northwestern.
Oh, okay.
Well, interconference, so that works.
Do you know who Northwestern's most cherished alumni is?
Maybe no.
I'll give you a hint. Northwestern is known for they have a world-renowned drama department.
Oh yeah. Okay, that still doesn't help me much, but
Charlton Heston.
No way.
Oh,
Charlton Heston. How about that? Moses.
Very nice. Very nice.
Or the leader of the NRA. You know,
that guy,
famous for saying, "You can have my gun when you pry it from my cold, dead motherfucking hands," or something
That's right.
like that. I could be paraphrasing.
From my cold, dead head.
That makes sense.
I don't know if he said motherfucking, but
I don't think he did.
Yeah, he might have.
You damn dirty ape.
You know, he was in so many bad movies. You know,
Planet of the Apes is not a bad movie. Yeah. It's just but yeah.
I was watching it was just on one day, the 10 Commandments, where he puts the rod in the water and it turns red, and you're just like, that's cheesy. You know, it's like Yul Brynner in The King and I.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, anyhow, we got 2 months to
Enough.
talk about college basketball, or we
Yeah.
have, you know, or the way I look at it, we got like a week and a half because pitchers and catchers report. But
Right.
I think there's a football game on Sunday. Yeah.
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 Yes, there is. Should
Yeah.
be a
Okay.
good game.
So should we talk about the merits of the game first, or should we just make fun of it first? You know,
Oh.
because I
The
mean,
merits of
you talk
Super
about
Bowl?
the merit of a football game, yeah, like your matchups to look for, you know, the boring shit, or do we want to talk about, you know, that Reba McEntire being 70 years old still hot, you know, shit like that.
And she's singing at halftime. Is that what's going on?
She's
singing
the
the
national anthem.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Should be
country.
good. Speaking of
Yeah.
country, Toby Keith died
yeah.
today.
Toby Keith did die. today.
Yes. Yes. Red Solo Cups everywhere are being raised.
For sure. He was a
Absolutely.
true-blooded American, wasn't he?
He was, yes, I've seen him in concert a couple times, and that guy puts on a really good concert. And yeah, he was a good. We lost a good one. We lost a good one in country music.
Yeah.
Stomach cancer. Oof.
You know who else lost him? The Sooners. Because
Oh,
he's a
God.
huge
Here we go with
fan.
Oklahoma again. Back to Oklahoma. Fucking full circle. Comes back full circle here.
Yeah. Sooner or later, it's just gonna become an Oklahoma fanboy show.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
You better hope to
sooner
God
or
they don't
later.
run the SEC table. That's all I got to say.
Oh, they're not going to.
I
They're
think
not.
that's a pretty safe fucking bet.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
right there.
I'm
You
just
know?
Some
saying,
money on
in the
that.
off chance, the very low chance that they beat Alabama or
You know
know.
what? They may beat Alabama. They're gonna get throttled by somebody dumb like Ole Miss.
yep,
You know,
it'll be something like
you
that.
know, or
Absolutely.
something like that.
Oh, no, they gotta
or
go to
like
Auburn.
Texas A&M. You know, and well, yeah, it's not your granddad's Auburn though. You know what I'm saying? It's not the Kansas City. The comments are already fucking coming.
That's a funny comment, though. It's maybe because he liked the color red. That's actually pretty funny, though.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if
I don't
Moses
know
went
what
to
he means by-
Oklahoma.
I guess, I don't-
either.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good comment,
I
though.
don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
back to the Super Bowl, I read an article today that said that if real quick before I get into that, going back to the conspiracy theory that we were talking about last week. So I follow a guy that works for ESPN named Adam Schefter. Do you guys know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So every so often, Adam Schefter will put out a funny, and it's not really the tweet that he puts out that's funny. It's the comments that it garners that are funny, because if we all remember stupid tweet of the week, it's not always the tweet, it's the
Right.
replies, right?
Right.
So Adam Schefter, and I made sure that this was from his account, puts out at 5:43 p.m. this afternoon. Regarding Sunday's Super Bowl matchup, CBS Sports Chairman Sean McManus quipped, quote, "The NFL has alerted us that for the first time ever, we will have a double overtime game in the Super Bowl." And then a bunch of comments after that about how the NFL is scripted, and if it's scripted, why can't we have, a good quarterback playing in the game, and this and that, and and it goes on down that road. But I thought that was funny that Adam Schefter, just stirring that pot.
That's really
Yeah.
funny, actually.
Yeah.
Just stirring that pot.
That's
So
very comical.
on another program that I listen to every day, sports program, they one guy said, and I quote, that if Brock Purdy were to walk on water, we would say that he doesn't do that well either.
Right.
And
I mean, yeah. Hey, look. I'll say this: Did you guys see the conspiracy theory coming out about Brock Purdy looking like Lee Harvey Oswald?
No.
You guys didn't see that tweet?
What is
They
this?
put a picture of Brock Purdy next to the assassin for JFK, and he looks just like him.
That's funny.
It's
So
kind of creepy too.
So when was Brock Purdy born? Like 1990 something?
Yeah, there's no chance, right?
Yeah, I mean he's even too old to be Lee Harvey Oswald reincarnated,
Too young, you mean?
or too young, yeah, to be Lee Harvey Oswald reincarnated. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean Kennedy was shot in '63. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was born in the '90s. I mean, how old is he? Is he older than 23?
Brock
Oh,
Purdy.
I
Boy,
doubt
he's
it.
still got probably 22, 23. I mean, he
Yeah.
played last year, right?
He's probably born 2000.
Yeah.
He's probably got to be right around 2000. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a young kid.
You guys want to hear? You guys want to hear an interesting fact?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Does it have to do with Oklahoma?
No.
Okay.
Which conference produced the quarterbacks for this Super Bowl?
Let's see.
Which conference?
The Big 12.
That's right, boys.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
When was the last time anybody gave a fuck about the Big 12?
Well, last year, you know why?
It's going away.
What did
As
they
last year, the Big 12 produced both quarterbacks that were in the Super Bowl.
win? What did they win?
The Super Bowl.
No. When was the last time that a team from the Big 12 has won the national championship?
Well, Texas won it in what? 2005?
Yeah,
maybe?
to put that into perspective, I was 30.
Yeah.
It's been a second.
It's been a second. Oh, it's only been a year then, right? Sorry.
My daughter, who is in college, was 1.
Right.
You know, so
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
It's been a
a
minute.
second. Yeah.
But
So
they have produced Super Bowl winners. That's good. Super Bowl winning
Well,
quarterbacks.
they ain't
Over and
won
over
shit yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the last Big 12 winning quarterback that won a Super Bowl?
Probably Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Okay, before that, who?
Before that, I have no idea. I
Well, let's back up. Okay, so who won the Super Bowl last year?
Kansas City.
Patrick Mahomes. Now, who won the year
Yep.
before? That's Big Ten. That's Tom Brady.
Tom
right?
Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who won the
Matt
year
Stafford.
before that? Or yeah, Matt Stafford.
Oh,
then
yeah,
Tom Brady.
yeah.
Matt Stafford's SEC. He went to Georgia. Okay, Tom Brady before that, and then it was Patrick Mahomes before that, right?
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah. We're going back. Who won the Super Bowl before that? It was Nick Foles, yeah, or maybe.
Yeah, it might have been Nick Foles in the
Arizona,
Eagles.
right?
Yeah, that's
Foles,
probably
Arizona.
You're probably right.
A little bit of trivia there.
That's Pac-12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably right there.
That's a great. I mean, that's a really good.
We like to play the game. Me and my son like to play the game of, you go through all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and you have to tell where they went to college.
Yeah, that's an interesting game.
Yeah, we like to play that game. Yeah, because when you get to like Garoppolo, you're like, damn, where did he go? You know. Yeah. Spoiler alert: he went to the same college Tony Romo did.
Really?
Let's
Yeah.
see. So, the year before. So let's see. We're going back. Let's go. So we went.
I love it when we're all prepared.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going Tampa, Kansas City, New England. New England or Rams. New England won. Philly, New England. So
Yeah,
Philly, New
Nick
England
Foles.
won.
Nick Foles, that's Pac-12.
Yep.
Yeah.
New England, Atlanta. New England won.
All right, so that's Big Ten again.
Denver, Carolina.
That's
Denver
SEC,
won.
that's Peyton Manning. That's
Yep.
SEC
New England, Seattle. New England won.
with the worst end of game call ever.
Yep.
Right.
Hand the bitch to Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
Yep.
For heaven's sakes.
Exactly.
doing that,
Jesus
right?
Christ! Don't throw the fucking football.
Seattle crushed Denver 43-8.
It's Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah. So that's
Big
depending on
Ten.
what you call or ACC. You know,
Right.
depending on who claims them.
Right. Baltimore San Francisco 34-31.
All right, here's a great question. Where'd Flacco go to fucking college?
Delaware.
Correct. So that's Ivy League, right?
Yep.
Delaware, Ivy League, or is it
This is
like
this
Mac-10?
this is a good one. There's not a Big 12 here for a while. So we've got
no pre the spread.
pre Mahomes.
There were no quarterbacks
We've
coming out of
got,
Big 12. They were in the
We've
wishbone.
got Giants over New England, so that's Eli Manning.
That's SEC.
We got Packers over Pittsburgh, so that's Aaron Rodgers.
That's Pac-12.
New Orleans over Indy.
That's
That's
Big
Drew
10.
Brees.
That's Big 10. He went to Purdue.
Pittsburgh over Arizona.
That's
Ben
whatever,
Roethlisberger.
wherever
That's,
Miami of Ohio
Miami,
is.
Ohio, yep.
Yeah.
Giants over New England.
That's Eli Manning.
Eli again. Indianapolis over Chicago.
That's
Was,
SEC.
it's,
Peyton Manning.
Pittsburgh over Seattle.
That's Ben Roethlisberger again.
yeah.
Yep. New England. So then it's New England.
Brady.
Tampa over Oakland.
That's
In,
Trent Dilfer.
No, it wasn't Trent Dilfer.
Oh no, it was Brad.
Brad Johnson. And where did he go to school?
Florida.
Florida
No idea.
State. Florida State.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's ACC.
The thing is,
By the way, that's the
didn't
first ACC quarterback we've mentioned.
Yeah, he didn't start. He didn't start at Florida State because he was behind a guy named Danny Cannell.
Oh, okay.
we're still at New England. Then we're at Baltimore again. Baltimore Giants.
That's Dilfer. That's Dilfer.
That's Dilfer.
Yep.
Then we're at St. Louis, Tennessee. That's
Kurt
Warner.
Yeah. And
Where
Aaron
did
Greatest
he go
Gordon.
to
show on
college?
greatest show on turf. He went to Northern Illinois University.
That's
Right.
correct.
So then we're Denver. That's John
That's
Elway.
John Elway, Stanford,
Yeah.
right?
Green Bay.
Brett
That's
Favre.
Brett Favre, Southern Miss.
Yep. Dallas. Pittsburgh. We're back to
Troy
1996,
Aikman.
mind you.
Troy
now.
Aikman,
That's
and
Troy
he
Aikman,
played
Oklahoma.
Stanford. He played at
right?
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was an
San
Oklahoma
Francisco.
That's Steve
Steve
Young.
Young.
Is
BYU.
that, what, the 49ers and the Chargers?
And the
Yep,
Chargers.
that's Steve Young was
Yeah.
BYU, which is
Yeah.
now in the Big 12.
Dallas, Buffalo. So
Fucking
this is
Mormons.
again, this is the
That's
Dallas
Troy Aikman.
Buffalo run because this is Aikman,
it's
Aikman,
Aikman,
Washington.
Kelly.
Oh, where did Buffalo's quarterback go? What's his face? What did
Hey,
he? where'd he
Jim
go?
Kelly?
Yeah, where'd he go?
I'm not quite sure.
I'll have
That's
to
a
look
good
that
question.
One.
That
Jim
they
Kelly.
may have been in the Super Bowl, but they didn't win. Washington, that's Doug Williams, isn't it?
Yeah.
37-24 over Buffalo.
I want to say, didn't Doug Williams go to an HBCU?
I think he might have
Like-
down
like-
south
Like,
somewhere.
yeah.
Sanford.
Grambling, maybe?
Where did Phil Simms go?
I don't know.
Texas.
Every time, yeah, that's where
Okay.
Chris Sims went.
So there's Texas. That's not Big 12 though yet.
So Jim Kelly went to. How did we not know this? University of Miami.
Oh,
San
yeah,
Fran-
yeah, we knew that.
And then we're Steve Young. Then we're
BYU.
Washington.
Wait, no.
BYU.
What are you talking about? 80? Are you back to 87 yet?
90 and 89.
Okay, 1989 is not Steve Young for the 49ers. That's Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And
sorry.
he went to
I don't
Notre
know where he
Dame.
went. Yeah, Notre Dame. Yeah.
Montana. Then we're at Washington, 42-10.
Well, who was
I
the quarterback for Washington? That was what's his face?
Um,
Joe Theismann.
no,
Am I right?
it was after Theismann. Because Theismann early 80s broke his leg.
That's right.
That's he played for the fucking Raiders too. I could see his
Oh, Plunkett?
Jim
No,
Plunkett?
no, he
no.
played he backed up Phil Simms in New York as well.
Williams. Not
No,
Doug
it wasn't
Williams.
Doug. It wasn't. It wasn't Williams. It was before Jeff Hostetler.
Oh, Jeff Hostetler.
yeah.
Oh,
right.
Hostetler.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
100% right. Yep. And then we've got New York Giants again. That's still Phil Simms. Chicago. That's Jimmy Mack.
Yeah.
San Francisco Raiders. Speaking of Plunkett, where did Plunkett go?
No idea, but that's a guy I've
Yeah.
never. I mean, I know who he is, but Plunkett College,
Well, that's the Los
Okay.
Angeles Raiders, and then they were the Oakland.
Stanford.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Stanford?
way back with
Wow, so
Stanford
we're
in
going back-
1967. That's you're
I
way.
mean, yeah. We're going back 40 fucking years now,
Yeah,
man.
we're back
you
in
know?
the 80s still. So I mean, we're still. But then we're back to Terry Bradshaw.
All right, we get it. There's been 2 Big 12 quarterbacks. We've
So
done a
the
lot
point
of
is,
work
you
here
know,
to prove Beeb's
3.
wrong.
we could basically go back to, you know, the
4
start
if
of
you
the
count Steve
start
Young.
of the Super Bowl era, and basically, you know, I think we beat the dead horse on this one.
Yeah,
good
but if you're
smattering of-
counting Steve Young as a Big 12 quarterback because they're now in the BYU's now in the Big 12, then we're going to count Phil Simms because Texas is now in the SEC.
Well, they're not in the SEC yet.
No, we're going original.
Well, then you're not counting Steve Young.
All right.
No.
You
So
know,
there's 3 quarterbacks from the Big 12.
because Steve Young is a direct descendant of Brigham Young. Okay. And,
John Smith.
Here we go.
And Brigham Young took over for Joseph Smith, who found these plates in his backyard, dug them up. No one was around. No one was around. He dug them up. He wrote them down on regular paper, and then he buried them again and didn't tell anyone where he buried. And people got so pissed off they shot him.
Okay. Well, that's a good transition into the 49ers because bringing it back full circle is to. So, do the 49ers have a chance?
Do you know why they're called the 49ers?
Because of the gold mine, because of the
the
gold,
gold
rush and
rush,
the
yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
And because it's Taylor Swift's favorite number and the 13, and we went over that conspiracy last week.
That wouldn't make sense.
It does.
I definitely think the 49ers have a chance in this game. I think
they do.
fool. I think you'd be a fool to say they don't.
I think it's going to be a really good game, and I think it will be a last possession ball.
I'd say position head for head. As far as the players are concerned, they stack up pretty well against each other, don't they?
Yeah, I think they
From
do.
what I've seen.
I think the game is going to be what the 49ers offense can do against Casey's defense. You know what I'm saying? Because the Casey's defense has stepped up all year. You know, but I mean, you got, especially if Debo is even more healthy than he was in the NFC Championship game. And then you got the guy's name I can't pronounce, but he seems to get open every fucking time. And then you get George Kittle. You know,
by the way, George Kittle is a Hall of Fame tight end. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say both tight ends are probably first ballot Hall of Famers.
So let me just make a comment on that real quick. Is that you say that sure George Kittle's a Hall of Fame tight end, but it's funny because the Hall of Fame tight end that he's chasing and the stats that he's chasing is across the way from him.
I know, isn't that crazy?
So I mean,
he's playing the same game.
Travis Kelce has had 7, if not 8. I don't know. I'm not looking at the stats, but 1,000-yard games are seasons. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind where you look and you had the conversation between. There was a great conversation. I don't know if it was on the Pat McAfee show or where, but it was between Gronk and Travis Kelce, and they're like, "There's always going to be the comparisons between you two now." And Gronkowski said, "No, there's not. I played to get the records. If somebody beats my record, it's now their record. So good for them. So if you can do it, good. Beat my record, that's great." And he said, the only record that I really don't want you to beat is the touchdown record. But he said, I think that you're probably going to beat it.
No, Travis Kelce, I think, is going to go down as your best tight end ever. I was just saying George Kittle is the first ballot Hall of Famer.
George Kittle's a good quarterback. Tight end. I know we're going to talk about the quarterback. So
I'll tell you. I tell you, when it comes to tight ends, back in the early '90s for Dallas, there was a tight end named Jay Novacek, and
really,
I used to comment like every time Aikman threw that dude was open. Yep. But what you saw was the same thing that Mahomes does with Kelce is a lot of times he throws him open.
100%.
You know, there's a couple times in the AFC Championship game where, you know, you're just like, hey, what a catch. And I'm like, dude, Mahomes put that ball on the money, you know? Yeah. And to where only on Pat McAfee when Kelce was on there. And I also listened to the Kelce's podcast.
Yeah.
And if you're not listening to New Heights,
you should
do yourself a favor, dude.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and listen to that podcast.
Yeah. It's funny.
I'll counter you this. If Jay Novacek played in a system that throws as often as Kansas City does, he might be staring at stats similar to Kelce.
Yeah, he was
really good. Quite a tight end.
Yeah, and I
Well,
mean they were a run first offense with Emmitt Smith,
Right.
you know, but
Wow.
yeah,
How
you're
could
right.
you not be, right? I mean, for
Yeah,
heaven's
well,
sakes.
sure.
well, they were a pretty good team. But it is funny though that you always look at Kelsey and you're like, how is he always wide open? I
Is
mean,
somebody the
he's
reason is because there's no linebacker who can stick with him, right?
no,
Right.
and he's
Who's
just
gonna
such
guard him?
he's a big dude, and he can shake off a block and he can do it. And but you do look at it and say, how is the guy open? I mean,
Right.
he does have a knack for getting open, and Kittle
Well,
does too. I mean,
they also both teams also have, you know, with that Rice guy, and they both have a deep threat. So when the
right,
deep threat is taken away, so like for instance, when KC played Miami, you're not going to put, if you're Miami, you're not going to put Jalen Ramsey on Travis Kelsey, because then Mahomes will just throw down the fucking field. You
right,
know, and,
right.
and you're
And
you're in
that
man
right there is
coverage,
why.
and that so you got to put your best corner on your deep threat, take that deep threat away, and maybe you can control Kelsey underneath. The problem is Kelsey's so fucking big, you
Right.
know, and Kittle for that matter. These
Right.
guys are bigger than the traditional tight end. You know, like when I think of a traditional tight end, I think of like Evan Ingram. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
who's not small, but he's not. I mean, Kelsey, look at him when he's on the sideline. He towers over people.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, just towers over people. So, you know, we have a commenter saying Tony Gonzalez, another great. That dude's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame, and I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
And he played for Kansas
yeah.
City.
You know, and Tony Gonzalez
Atlanta.
was a great tight end.
Yeah.
He's not, in my opinion, which it just happens to be right. He's not even in the same conversation with Travis Kelsey.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think,
who were his quarterbacks? Tony Gonzalez.
well, he was out Dan Fouts for a number of years, right?
Yep.
He played for
and
Kansas
then-
City for a long time, but who was his quarterback at Kansas City?
Joe Montana at
Well,
one point.
Montana for a little while.
One
He had-
season.
he had,
One season in Kansas City.
Yeah,
He
but
had
still,
he had Trent Green for a bit.
yep, he did.
Um,
He played in Atlanta for a while, and he had a really good quarterback in Atlanta. Well, I think I want to
Was
say
it Michael Vick?
Michael Vick might have been down there, but I know
I think he had Matt Ryan.
I think he had
Okay,
Matt
yeah.
Ryan
Yeah,
for
Matt
most of his
Ryan,
career. But Tony Gonzalez is a great great tight end, and I
think
mean tight end
anybody-
is a tough position. I mean that is you're blocking, you're doing a lot of different things. But there's like look at Sam, like another one that's coming up, which is going to be a great tight end is Sam Laporta for
Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah.
and
He's
got
gonna
the-
be the next up and coming tight end.
Nah,
That's gonna
no,
be
that'll
one
be
to
the
be
kid
like,
out of Georgia.
yes, Brockmeyer. Is that what his
No,
name is?
That's
Brock,
the other one.
Brock Bowers.
Bowers.
Is that
yeah.
is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I
kid's
mean,
gonna be-
Evan Ingram had 100 catches.
yeah. Evan Ingram's no slouch.
But-
He's doing good.
The reason tight ends are being so successful in the league right now is because we're spreading and throwing. So I mean, you have so many receivers and a tight end that there are no linebackers that are going to cover a tight end that's like a receiver. They just can't do it. Not
Well,
built that way.
Well, look at both of these teams are doing they're both offensively almost the
loaded.
same team.
Yeah,
They're
they're
almost
loaded.
the same team.
So, okay, well, break it down then. Whose offense is better, KC or San Fran?
That's a good question.
They're different styles of offense now. I mean, like they
Okay,
both have
who-
good receivers, but
All right, okay. All right, let's break it down even further. Who's a better quarterback, Mahomes or Purdy?
Mahomes,
Mahomes,
Okay. Who's a better tight end, Kelsey or Kittle?
Kelsey.
Okay. Who's got the better receivers? Is it a wash?
I'd say it's a wash. I really would because you got Valdez Scantling, you've got
do you
who's
count?
the other guy?
Is Debo Samuel? He's a receiver, right? I mean, he runs the ball too, right?
I think he's considered an athlete, but
You have the underneath threat of McCaffrey too, which makes everything dangerous.
that was my
right?
next. Who's got the better running game? That goes to San Fran, I think.
San Fran, but they can both Pachenko can both catch out of the backfield and run, and then you've got the two-headed monster of I can't pronounce his name. Clay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
we know- yeah. Who's
Whatever
got
his
the
name
better
is.
defense?
I
Well, the
think
way
San
that Kansas
Francisco.
City's been playing the last couple of weeks, Kansas City's defense looked tough.
I think San Francisco does.
Okay, I think it's close, so I'm gonna call it a wash. Okay, so right now it's coming down to the quarterback, which it always seems to come down to,
Kicker.
right?
Mhm.
The kicker, Butker's damn near automatic. I
Yep,
know
and
this
the San
because the
Francisco one
motherfucker
is yep,
was on my fantasy team.
Right,
yep,
right, right,
yep,
right.
and the San
You know,
Francisco one has missed extra points and field goals. So I give the
Yeah.
kicker to Kansas City.
and isn't it funny how it always seems to come down
Down to the dang
to a
kicker.
kick?
So I mean, that's why I say I think it could. This could very well be a last possession.
See, I don't mind if it does, as long as it's not. So last year it felt kind of scripted, didn't it?
When does
Well,
it
we've-
not? I mean,
we've
I want
proven the
I want
last
the
3
script to be
years.
right. I want double overtime, man.
Yeah.
You know what
No,
I'm saying? I want
I mean,
this
I
thing to
just-
start at 6 and make everybody late for work. I want a 7-hour game.
I mean, the
Yeah.
Super Bowl last year was decided by, I think, a penalty on the final drive. Is that right?
Well, yeah, wasn't it Chris?
Philadelphia
wasn't it
needed to
Chris?
stop, and then they called a pass interference call, and that was the end of the game.
Why do I remember Philly
thought
was
wasn't
trying
Chris
to score?
Jones offsides or
Philly
something like
was
that,
trying
too?
to score, and they
No,
got
didn't,
called for like a stupid penalty, and the clock ran out.
Yeah, I think it was one of the. I thought, didn't Kansas City just run the clock out? That's what I thought. They ran the clock out because there was a penalty and they could just kneel on it.
I
Am
think
I
you might be
wrong?
right. I think you might be right.
Hey, St. Joe, the comment board wants you to remember the playoff loss for the Chicago Bears with the double doink when it always comes down to a kicker.
Oh, nice.
They
Yeah.
want to. That's really nice of them to remind you, of that. It'd be also nice to remind that the Pittsburgh Steelers get their fucking ass kicked by the Buffalo Bills.
I'd like
so
to.
let's-
I'd like
let's
to remind him about the 9 rape allegations for Ben Roethlisberger. How about that?
Easy,
Oof, Jesus.
easy.
Oh,
How
here
did
we
he
go.
ever get out of that anyway? That's
I-
what I want to know.
Well, he got on a wreck on a motorcycle and everybody forgot about it, or
Yeah, I guess.
or
I
something
don't know.
stupid. I mean, OJ was going through a white Bronco or something. I don't know.
They
What's
paid a
more is
lot
he
of
like?
money.
What's more is like in the last couple of years, like he's become like the guy that everyone looks at like the consummate family man now. I mean,
Yeah.
Miami, Ohio. Oh, you must have mistaken. I went to the Ohio State. I didn't do anything there. I was not that far away.
yeah, right.
I got
Well.
hit in the head too many times.
Well,
Yeah, say
you
what
know
you
what?
want. He was a pretty dang good
okay. All
quarterback.
right. Though, in Pittsburgh's defense, though, when was the last time that the Bears had? This comes from a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, dude. So
Don't ask the
I
question.
my
That's painful.
hypocrisy has no limits. But when's the last time that the Chicago Bears have had a franchise quarterback? Jim
We
McMahon?
traded up to get Mitch Trubisky, which I think is now playing in Pittsburgh. So,
Who
interesting.
got benched for Mason
Yeah.
Rudolph in Pittsburgh?
Okay,
Yeah.
as a quick aside from the Super Bowl, well, maybe
Yeah.
we should wait and talk about because the draft's coming up, and I would like to talk about that a little bit
yeah.
tonight.
It's been a while. Maybe
Okay.
Jay Cutler. We're talking about Jay
Yeah,
Cutler.
I see that
I mean,
one.
the last person who we had any hope on that took us to a playoff, or actually
Rex
took us
Grossman?
anywhere
Rex
near.
Grossman?
Yeah, it was Rex
Super
Grossman.
Bowl.
Yeah, who I bumped.
Sexy
I bumped-
Rexy.
we were going to the playoffs, and I actually bumped. We were in the same elevator, and my wife and I said, we got in the elevator with him, and I moved my wife over to him, and I said, "Don't touch him, because if you hurt him, we're fucked." I said, "Don't even get near him."
Well, the comment board says the last franchise quarterback you had was Gale Sayers.
Who was a running back?
Jimmy Mack would have probably been. We're going way back if you want to go back that far. But
All right, well, let's hold our
been a while.
predictions for the end of the show. But St. Joe, real quick, I know Beebs wants to get to draft, but we got something fun.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do this real quick. This should be fun. So one of the biggest and best things about the Super Bowl, of course, is that everybody wants to bet on the Super Bowl, right? I mean, it's a given thing. I wish growing up in Wisconsin, you would go to the bar, you would get your numbers and your pull tabs and little thing, and you get the little numbers, and you're sitting there hoping that you get what quarter is it, how it ends, and it's just like a pastime. It's one of the things that you do, but because gambling is not legal, it's all for fun up there. I thought we would go through some of the fun bets that everybody does at every Super Bowl party, I think, at least the ones that I've been to, and we go through some of the prop bets that are happening. They are probably one of the most interesting things that I see that come out every year. There's one particular one. Hold on, Mama D. The drama's coming. Hang in there. One prop bet revolves around it, so
This is the drama portion of the program.
we'll see when it gets to it. But as you know, there's a big list of prop bets, and of course, I love lists, so this is right up my alley. Um, Starts off with the coin toss, right? Heads or tails, you can bet on it. 7 of the
That's
last
so
10
stupid.
games
I'll,
have been.
always pick tails
That's right. 7 of the last 10 games have been tails. Do you know why that is?
because they're doing a fucking stupid fucking coin. You
That
know?
is correct.
Weighted coin.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
57%, it leans towards tails
Tails, yeah.
right now, and they think that it has to do with the coin, and the commemorative coin that's used is because it's weighted differently because of the emblem being this or this or whatever, and it ends up on tails. So
You're not saying it's scripted, are you?
I'm just saying that for the last
There-
7 out of if
Did you see
now,
the comment?
We got,
here's what it is. If
got a lively got a lively comment board tonight.
if
Yeah.
if I'm going tails, if I'm getting tails and I'm betting, I'm the kind of guy that would say I'd bet heads just because it's always been tails. So that's what
So-
I would say. But
So for our viewers, we got a comment that says tails come from Oklahoma, and then we have another comment that says start a drinking game. How many times the camera goes to Taylor Swift?
funny that
you would
comment
get
comes
drunk
up.
real fast on that
Very
one.
funny that so there is an over under on how many times Taylor Swift is on camera.
33.
6.5.
How many?
6.5 over under.
Oh, I'm taking the
You're
fucking
over.
on that
Over.
shit.
Yeah.
Take
Yep.
my money. I'm putting it down.
Yep.
You know?
6.5. There's also a 4.5 over under on how many times the Kelsey brothers are mentioned.
You know what should be a prop bet is how many times Jason Kelsey is
Sleeping.
shown.
Takes his shirt off?
You know.
That's a good one too. I like that. I want
Yeah.
to prop bet it if he takes his shirt off.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
So coin toss is one. The length of the national anthem is set at 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Last time, Reba sang the national anthem on a headline stage of this nature, it clocked in at 89 seconds. You figure out the math? Just going to say that maybe with a little bit of pomp and circumstance, 2 minutes over under, you tell me. You tell me.
Hey, we got to
It's,
answer this question here real quick. It says, who screwed up the coin toss? So now they must call it before the flip. I'm pretty sure that was a fucking Pittsburgh Steeler. You know,
It might have been.
That did that
no,
shit.
it was Matt Hasselbergs and says, we call heads and we're going to win.
Yeah, then they lost.
I don't know if that was in a Super Bowl or not, but
You know.
we'll see.
But another commenter says that you must be looking at DraftKings.
I'm not looking at DraftKings, but
Okay.
I did do a little bit of homework before just to make sure.
Okay. Your
let's
homework
see.
scares me.
It does sometimes.
Yeah, okay. Next, I'm taking the over on Reba. By the way,
I would
Do you
too.
think over?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna take the over. On
I think
Reba.
it's going to be embellished.
Okay.
It's going to be an embellished.
Yeah, well, I
anthem.
mean, we as we were talking earlier, country singers typically don't, have the runs, like others do, like Christina Aguilera. If she was singing
Right.
it, I'd take the over all day long. I think it's gonna be 5 minutes long,
Right.
But I just think that timing is, it's a little too close.
Right. Right. And then so then they have a bunch of other fun. The fun ones that they have, they have who's the first person to score the offensive play? Is it a running back? Is it a receiver? Is it who's the first team to score to call a timeout? Who's is the first score of the game a touchdown? Is it a running touchdown, a passing touchdown? Is it a field goal? Is it, there's a ton of different prop bets that you can do, and there's a lot of fun. Anybody could find one online and print off a sheet. On the field goal one, there is a prop bet on if the field goal hits the goalpost, which is very fun. Because I got to tell you, if a kicker hits the field goal post, that's pretty accurate to me, I think. But obviously, they don't want to do that.
Well, that
But
dude from Chicago is fucking accurate because he did it twice in
he
one
is
kick.
very, very accurate. Very
in
accurate.
one fucking kick a couple years ago.
You've got most sacks, you've got interceptions, you've got, there's a ton of different things. The ones that you get to at the end, which I always think are fun, is what color is the Gatorade that is spilled onto the coach?
What are the choices? Is clear a choice?
Yes, clear is a choice. It's usually clear, blue, purple, yellow. It's
orange.
never red.
Why is it never red?
Because red stains the clothing, and Gatorade has never had red. They typically don't have red. Now you think that it matches up, and it would be red because of Kansas City and their colors red.
Well,
but
in San Francisco,
red has very, very rarely been a winning color for the color of Gatorade.
Yeah, that's another fucking question. What happened to the purple in the logo? Yeah, they're both fucking red.
Yeah,
maybe that's gone.
Now your conspiracy theories right up there with birds aren't real. It's right up there with the fucking flat Earth.
Maybe that's the color of the Gatorade. Maybe purple is what you bet on. I don't know. Here's the
starting
drama.
to get ridiculous. I'm just saying.
Here's the drama, and I think it could have happened, but before this happened, Brock Purdy just proposed to his fiance before the Super Bowl.
Brock Purdy?
So, yep, he did. He just proposed to his fiance was a smart thing because, she's happy because she's going to get a ton of money after this season because they're going to renew his contract and they give him a big raise. I was wrong on Christmas about the old proposal from the old Swiftie and the Travis Kelce. Maybe I'm feeling it, but if Kansas City wins, my prediction, along with a lot of other people, believe that there will be a proposal by one Travis Kelce to Taylor Swift.
You know what I think is going to happen?
What?
I think Travis Kelce is going to be the guy who's going to Disney World, and he's going to propose to Taylor Swift at Disney World.
That's not a far off guess. That's not a very bad proposal. That's not a very bad bet right there. But
a commenter. I got a comment on one of these comments here. We have a commenter that says usually water because Gatorade is sticky, and we should listen to him because he is very knowledgeable about translucent liquids that are sticky, and he's just kidding.
Wow. I do know.
Another commenter says, "Who do you guys want to see win the Super Bowl?" And we said a little bit earlier that we're going to give our picks at the end of the show, so in about 15 minutes or so. Yep. 17 minutes.
And the other thing is, do you know what a scorigami is?
A scorigami. Is that like
Does that have something to do with
it's
folded
like when you
paper?
take the scorecard and you fold it up?
No, it's not. So the scorigami is this is the worst bet that you could. Well, it's the biggest payoff bet, but it's probably the worst bet that you could make. It's if the Super Bowl ends on a regular score, like a score that has happened before. Some very basic final scores in the past. The bet covers if the final score is 28-24, 24-21, 23-20. If the final score ends up being a weird score, and there has been no shortage of weird scores in the recent years, just look at the last couple Super Bowls where the score was 41-33, 13-30, So if it was a score that's never happened before, it could be considered a scoreagami.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
tough bet to do. So, if it would end up, I don't know. I don't know if I would take that bet. It's an interesting bet. That's the one I found most interesting when looking through those. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's gonna be interesting. The final score is like 39-25.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would never have happened in Super Bowl history. Then that you would win that bet.
But it's going into double overtime according to Schefter.
Shifty.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, that would be hilarious if this one says, "What if Kelsey dumped Taylor Swift at the end of the Super Bowl and said,
That would
see
be
you later?"
fucking awesome. That would be
That would be awesome.
dude. You do not know how quick I would get on Twitter at pedals of support. You know,
Hey, see you later, Swifty.
And Twitter would explode. Like if that happened,
dude.
Twitter would explode. Like it would
Dude.
just
Hit the bricks, bitch. Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
why don't you back down? Where's she flying in from? Tokyo? Why don't you head back to
Japan?
Tokyo?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
Oh, it only took 45 minutes. We're off the rails.
Oh my God.
Well, we made it there. You know.
All right.
Beebs, what do you got?
Real quick. Yeah, do you have something, Beeb? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was I sent you guys a couple things over the week, but really because of, it being kind of a quiet week in the world of sports, I didn't really have my favorite thing other than Kentucky losing to Florida I love when Kentucky loses. I hate
magical.
that team.
It was magical.
I hate that team. But also, Duke lost to somebody who wasn't very good here recently, if I remember. So I was kind of rejoicing about those things, but those aren't really like my favorite things in sports. So,
you know what term I'm getting sick of hearing in college basketball?
Oh, I'm sorry. There was something I sent you guys, and it was Eli Manning. Did you guys get that tweet?
Yeah.
The one where I don't know if he's rapping or what he's doing.
Oh, yes.
About the GOAT? About Tom
Yes.
Brady and the GOAT?
Yes.
Yeah, they call him the GOAT killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? I mean, what were the words he used? He said, "I'm Eli Manning. I'm nice. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Psych. I beat him twice." Yeah, there we go. That's talking about. Like I
awesome.
find the Manning brothers to be hilarious. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And then I find them to be extremely funny, but I thought that whole video that they did with that was because he is the GOAT killer, right?
Yeah,
He is.
I mean, what I find funny about Eli is that Peyton, is widely considered the better quarterback. Yet they have the same amount of Super Bowls, and Peyton is, doing all, he's doing all the funny commercials and all this, and he actually called Eli and bugged the shit out of him because Eli didn't want to coach the Pro Bowl again, and Peyton wouldn't leave him alone, left him like 18-minute voicemails, and shit like that. Finally, Eli's like, "All right, I'll do it." And I think it's fucking poetic justice that the NFC won.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the second year in a row, Peyton loses again when they couldn't score on that flag football thing the other night. I mean, Peyton's like on his knees, and and Eli's, "Yeah, we just win again. Go fuck yourself."
Another thing that I thought was funny was yesterday was the 7-year anniversary of the 28-3 score at halftime for the Tom Brady Super Bowl comeback.
Yeah.
That was if you're a Falcons fan, I mean, good on you for remaining a Falcons fan after something like that. That is some tormented stuff right there. Right?
I don't feel sorry for him. I'm a fucking Jacksonville Jaguar fan. I don't fucking feel sorry for him. Fuck him.
Still no Super Bowl for Atlanta. and they've been around a lot longer than Jacksonville. They've been in the Super Bowl a couple times and just cannot bring it home. And they were up 28-3.
They were.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what do you do?
Yeah. A very familiar.
I don't know. It's almost like being 8-3 and not making the fucking playoffs.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to bring that up. That's kind of a deep.
I'm just saying. I mean, we're You know what, though?
Okay, can you
in
put
that
that
Super
last-
Bowl,
Can you put
in
that
that-
last comment up there?
yeah, hang on one second. If in that Super Bowl, though, the Patriots didn't win, the Falcons lost.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Well done. All right. So the
Oh,
last one is
boy.
thank God I'm a Giants fan. How'd they do this year? That's what I want to know, Sleevey.
Yeah,
How'd
how's,
they do that?
how's
How'd they end
Daniel Jones doing?
How's he
You know,
treating you guys?
or who
franchise
was
quarterback?
who was the mafia guy? No, sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. Who was the mafia guy that had playing quarterback?
Yeah.
I don't know who he was. I don't know who
Tommy
you're
Tommy Cutlets. That's what they called him.
Oh, yeah, whatever it was.
You know, and then he had the agent that looked like fucking Henry Hill. You know, if you don't know who
Yeah.
Henry Hill is, it's Ray Liotta's character from Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daniel. Oh, we got to put that up there. Tommy Cutlass DeVito was his
Tommy
name, but
DeVito.
we got to put this up there real quick. This is for all of our female viewers, you know,
That's great.
and
That's great.
you know, and all that.
Hey,
but,
Jeb, real quick, did you go anywhere special this weekend? Did you visit our sponsor by any chance?
Yes, absolutely. I did. Thank you for bringing that up because I would just go on spouting nonsense all motherfucking night. You know, I did kick it down, to see Ancient City Designs and Rick and Tony Rosenbaum. They got a booth at Coconut Barrel in St. Augustine. Yeah, it features like over 200 local vendors, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? If you don't live in St. Augustine, you could find their stunning affordable pieces available for sale every day at ancientcitydesigns.com with free shipping across the U.S. Though custom orders take about 3 weeks. I mean, they need to work on that. But they keep you updated every step of the way. Returns and exchanges aren't an option, so don't even fucking ask. But they're committed to nailing your vision. This husband and wife duo can't wait to craft something special just for you. Visit Ancient City Designs or their booth at Coconut Barrel in St. Augustine for local treasures and a special discount. Don't miss out. Discover the magic of Ancient City Designs today. Be sure to mention that Kev, Beebs, and St. Joe sent you. And we want to go real quick, and talk about some Super Bowl commercials.
Mm.
All time. Okay. Now, I asked you guys to come up with 5. I don't know if you did that or not, but I did.
I have
So
5, but it might be the same 5 as y'all. I mean, you know what I mean?
Okay, well, we'll go around. We'll do 5, and then we'll go 4, and we'll go
All right.
3. We're not going to make a decision like on Nailed It the other day where they're like, hey, let's go around and do all 3. And St. Joe's like, fuck that shit. Just tell me them all right now. It's
It's my podcast.
yeah. So
That's right.
My number 5 is probably 30 years old. And it is it's called The Showdown, and it's with Larry Bird and Michael Jordan. It's more oftenly referred to as the Nothing But Net McDonald's commercial,
Mm-hmm.
That's a
where
great
they're
one.
bouncing it off the
Absolutely.
freeway, off that second thing over there. So that's my number 5. It just gets better from there.
Yeah. Well, St. Joe, go ahead.
Okay. I'll start with mine. Number 5 is I like the E-Trade baby.
Yeah, that's good.
We were talking about that a little bit, and I just think the original one that they had, the EJ, it was Super Bowl, it was 2008, so it was a while back. But yeah, I think it's great, and I think the best part when he comes on at the end, puts his little golf cap on, and says, I think he says, "You got to work on your swing."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's funny. That's funny.
There's a number of those that are good. I got one specific one on my list.
Okay, perfect.
So, for number 5, the FedEx commercial with the guy dressed up like the guy from Castaway, and he delivers that package, and the he's like, "What was in it?" And the lady opens it up, and it's all sorts of survival equipment that he never used while he was on the island.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's a good commercial.
One.
So my number 4 is the first of 2 Doritos commercials, and this one I just find it funny. So picture this: a dog comes up to a guy eating Doritos, and he's got one of those dog bark shock collars on, and the guy was like, "You have to speak to get a Dorito," and so the dog goes off and takes that shit off and puts it on there, and then he won't give him a Dorito, so the dog barks and the dude gets shocked like that, and the dog at the end the dog's eating a bag of Doritos. It's funny.
Yeah.
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 I love
Doritos
that
has some
commercial.
really fun.
I thought you were going to talk about the pug one where he jumps through the door.
That is an honorable mention.
Okay.
Okay, because
so-
that one's good, but the shot, I like, to see man suffer. You know what I'm saying? And the door is not as much suffering as the shot collar. And now the dog, all he has to do is bark and he gets shot, I mean,
Well-
that shit hurts.
It's funny that you mentioned Doritos because I
Okay.
also have one said Doritos commercial on mine.
Okay.
It's also you said man hurting, but this one is more about woman hurting. When
that's
the
fun
man
too.
the man walks into the doctor's office with the pregnant lady, and they're getting the sonogram, and the guy's eating the bag of Doritos, and the little baby in there wants to grab the Dorito, and he like puts it over the stomach,
Yeah,
and he goes to grab for it, and he goes to eat it, and everywhere it goes, and he's like, "Look at this," and he waves it around, and then the mom or the woman grabs the bag of Doritos and she throws it across the room, and then they wait, and all of a sudden the baby shoots out of her, and it's like, you're like, "Wah!" And then all the doctors start screaming and be like, "What?" And that's a funny commercial. I don't care who you are, that is a funny commercial. Doritos has some really good commercials.
Yes. So Snickers had a really good commercial, and actually has had a few good commercials during the Super Bowl. But the Betty White Snickers
Yes.
commercial
Yeah,
is
it's classic.
probably I I didn't rank mine 5-1,
Yeah.
so this might be my number one. But the Betty White commercial, the funniest part about it was at the end when their quarterback all of a sudden it turns into the old man and gets just destroyed, right?
Yeah. Oh man, why are you riding my ass?
That's right.
It's such a good commercial. Yeah.
All right, so my number 3, I'm totally floored that I got to this one first, but I'll say it as best as I can. What's up?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got me.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I got to mine. I can't. You know what? We're on number 2.
3.
3.
We're on number 3. My number
Yeah.
3. All right, I'll make this my number 3. Sure, why not? An iconic commercial that set off a beloved catchphrase for everybody around.
Hey, dude, if you're going to make fun of me, get it right, okay?
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
it's
beloved.
Did you know one of the all-time restaurants used this phrase forever?
Where's
And
the
the
beef?
3 little old ladies came up and
Okay,
said,
Where's
"Where's the beef?"
Yep.
Great commercial.
Yep.
Wendy's. 1984. Man, that
That
is
is
a
old.
long time ago.
Yep. So, I watched one that I had never seen before, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. It was from 1977 when I was going through the lists, and this is from before I was born. And you guys might know what I refer to because they did a second one as a remake later on, but it was the monks for Xerox. Are you guys familiar with this?
No.
So there's a monk because back in like medieval times they would write documents by hand, right? But the only way to get copies was to write the copies by hand, right? And so one monk brings it to the head monk and says, here's your copy. And he goes, "Oh, you did such a beautiful job." He's like, "I need 500 of those, please." and the whole point of the Xerox commercial was Xerox was new at the time, and then you could go and make 500 copies, really quickly, and come back, and so it was just a really witty commercial. for the time. Like at the time, it would have made a lot of sense to them. I watched the remake of it. Like they actually made it. They had a remake where now they're giving him a tablet instead of 500 copies.
That's funny.
And it was just a nice throwback to that. But in 1977, apparently that was like the #1 commercial for a year.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
But I found it hilarious.
Excellent. Okay.
All right, my number 2 is a specific E-Trade baby commercial, and it's the one where the kid, he's in the crib and he's standing up, he's talking to the camera, and he's like, I got put in here. I'm doing some time because apparently riding the dog like a horse is frowned on in this establishment.
Yeah.
I love that commercial so much. Absolutely.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 2 was kind of a groundbreaking commercial for its time. And I mean, if you've seen it, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's going to be the 1984 Apple commercial.
Yes.
I
like.
I mean, it was just there
for its time. Yeah, absolutely.
To give a plug on that whole story, there is a 30-minute Stupid History Minute special report on the story of that commercial. And if you've never read the book, The Pirates of Silicon Valley, about the Steve Jobs versus Bill Gates type deal of the early 80s, basically Apple came out with that and realized that Microsoft was the bad guy. And there's a big foreshadowing with that commercial. When they released it to how Apple has the big rah-rah session every year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They released that commercial saying, hey, this is going to be our Super Bowl commercial. And basically, people were telling Steve Jobs, they're like, the guy depicted as Big Brother in that commercial is Microsoft. Yeah.
Do you know who directed the commercial?
I do. Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane, right? So, I mean, the Orwellian feel of it and everything like that is just a very, I mean, I can clearly see the commercial now. I mean, without even like playing it and it's a crazy commercial. So
it's very ahead of its time too.
Of 100%.
Very ahead of its time. Yeah.
Ahead of 100%.
All right. So my number 2 is a Doritos commercial. It's the Crystal Ball commercial.
Yes. Ah, you fucker. That's my number 1, you fucking asshole.
Find a new one.
See the future, and it says Doritos for everyone. Is that what it said? No.
I knew he was going to steal that one.
Yeah.
I got another one in my pocket.
All right.
You know
all right.
what I'm saying? Yeah,
go ahead. What's your number 1?
Motherfucker.
I'm surprised this one wasn't on your list, but that's okay.
So it's a Doritos commercial. I just find it funny because it's a kid, and when they get kids to do funny things. But this guy comes over, and he's going to take the mom out. Then the mom has to go get ready, and the date or whatever starts sitting down. He starts bullshitting with the kid, like, "Hey, it's you gaming here? I mean, I'll play you, whatever." And then he fucking takes a Dorito from off the table. Kid gets in his face. He's like, "I got 2 rules: don't touch my mama, and don't touch my Doritos."
Yep. Yeah, he watches the mom walk down the hall. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
and he just slaps the shit out of the guy.
Don't touch my mama.
I got 2 rules. It's just very funny. That's a funny commercial too. Yeah.
I don't know if it's number 1 gardening, but Beeb stole my number 1, just like Sam Bradford stole the Heisman from Tim Tebow.
Oh boy. Well,
at least we made it back to Oklahoma.
We'll see.
Well, apparently the FedEx CEO went to Oklahoma.
I don't remember that one, but that's
okay. Right. I mean, whatever.
I saved the best for last, and you know what? I know that our viewer is gonna love this commercial, and it's probably his number 1 commercial too. This is a Coca-Cola commercial.
Ooh, yeah.
I bet you the viewer has it on replay. It's a great player. Mean Joe Green at the end of the game is all beat up and walks down the hallway, and a little kid sees him, and he turns around, he throws him his jersey and says, "Hey kid, catch." Gives him it, and he gives him a Coke, gives him his jersey. 1979 that commercial came out. And it's a good Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
It's Coca-Cola's got some good stuff going on there, but that is a great old classic Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, you talk about the commercials, and this is what irritates me about the Super Bowl, because I actually, funny thing, I like to watch the fucking game, but if you go to like a Super Bowl party where there's how can I say this nicely? Women, what they want to do is they'll talk during the game, and then they'll
Yes.
shut the fuck up for the commercials.
Yes.
You know
They
what I'm
will.
saying?
They will.
It's just like, can't you like go out and like practice driving or something? I mean, do
Yes.
something. Don't shut. I'm trying to listen to Tony Romo here.
Oh, boy.
And Jim Nance.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, my number one is the legacy of Trent Spears. Is that right? Trent Spears? Is that the name of the guy? First name's Trent. It's the commercial where the linebackers destroying everybody in the office.
Is that
Do you
Terry?
Terry
It's
Terry
Crews?
Tate.
Terry Tate. That's it.
Terry Tate.
Yep. And he's just running around destroying people in the office for not doing their job well enough.
What, isn't Terry Crews the linebacker?
No, it's Terry
no.
Tate.
Terry Tate.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
It gets at the end of the commercial. It says if you want to see more of Terry Tate, go to this website.
Oh, gotcha.
Or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was hilarious watching him just attack people in an office and
Yeah.
then yell at them.
Yeah. It's
You
like-
need to make better copies.
You
Oh,
got
God.
time for games? It's time for pain.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Doug, pay attention.
I do have one honorable mention, and I will just give this to I will say this is probably the best marketing that I've ever seen in my life. And it was,
Michael Jackson's hair catching on fire?
no, that was not
Okay.
it, but that was very funny. Yes. Last year, and you guys, I know, because I think we talked about it last year, that every one of us, I think that it was a commercial for Tubi, where all of a sudden the TV went like bonkers, and it looked like it was on a different channel or whatever.
It
And
looked
I
like it was
guarantee-
changing the channel.
Yes,
It looked
I
like it was
guarantee you,
changing the channel.
everybody everywhere went and grabbed and went, who fucked up the remote? Who put the channel? Who changed it? Who did whatever? Because at our party, everybody was running around and it was like, what happened? Did the dog hit it? Did whatever? But then on the little corner of the bottom of the TV, it said, there was a QR code or whatever. This is scan here for Tubi for your free 7-day trial or whatever it was. And I'm like, that was brilliant. Brilliant. It pissed everybody off because I guarantee you they changed their channel or did something.
Yep.
But it was a brilliant commercial.
I tell you, my honorable mention, real quick, was a genius because of the money they had to spend and this company has it, but the money that they had to spend, A, to get the actor to do it, and B, to buy the rights to other companies' commercials. And it was last year with Tide. And they got David Harbour. If you don't know who that is, the guy plays Hopper in Stranger Things. He's also in Hellboy. He's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
He's in Black Widow. Anyhow, Tide had a commercial where they were spoofing hey, I'm at a bar, it's a beer, and the beer would spill. He's like, no, Tide commercial, and anyhow, but then they got like they went away, and throughout the game, you would think you were like, what I remember is the Old Spice guy on the horse.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was talking. He's like, "Look, I'm on a horse," and then you see David Harbour. Nope, Tide commercial.
Right.
And it still did the
Right.
whistle.
Yeah.
And then further down there's like a Mr. Clean, and you saw Mr. Clean, the lady watching it. David Harbour's like, "Nope, Tide commercial." It happened like 6 or 7 times. I was like, "This is genius."
He just kept popping up.
Yeah.
So I have one honorable mention as well. It's one I will never forget, It's not really that funny or even it's catchy, but it's not even that great of a commercial. But I remember it from the Super Bowl, and I will forever, and probably because it was from maybe one of the first Super Bowls I really cared about. But 3 words for you: Bud, Wise,
Yeah.
That's right. The 3 frogs. That was for me like the most. Like I thought that was pretty tremendous marketing as well, because I don't think anybody forgot that commercial.
Sure.
The lizards were good too.
Yeah.
You know, because they would have like the frogs would be in the background. The lizards would be like, did they ever shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some good ones. I'll be very curious to see what the commercials are now. They've already released some, which you can see, which are okay, but I'll be curious to see what they have. So
I'm not watching any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to view it on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
watch the spoilers.
Yeah.
You know, like but that being said, if somebody would be like, Mark Hamill's going to be in, the 10th Star Wars, I'm not sure it would be on Google real quick.
Kev, I am also shocked that you didn't pick the Volkswagen commercial with the kid
Yeah,
dressed
that's
like
what I-
Darth
For the
Vader.
Darth Vader,
Yeah.
it's kind of low hanging fruit. You guys know I love that one.
Yeah. I thought that would be on your list for sure. But
there's so many to choose from, and
There
so
is.
my criteria is: did it make me laugh out loud? You know, that's my criteria. While the Star Wars one was a cool one,
right.
you could kind of see where it was going. But did it make me laugh out loud, or was it catchphrasy enough to be remembered forever?
Right.
Like the What's Up guys, they've done iterations. Just a couple of years ago, they did one where a dog goes into space, and it was actually an alien in disguised as a dog, and they're like, "What did you learn?" They're like, "Waza."
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, before we end, let's get our picks in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless we have a stupid sport of the week.
I don't, because this is Super Bowl special.
All right.
Yeah.
So the stupid sport of this week is going to be this fucking flag football Pro Bowl game I watched the other day.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty
Watched
good.
it.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. I watched the dodgeball too. That was much more fun.
All right. Well, let's do this. Kev, who you picking? You already and give us a score. Give us a score.
I am going to go score 35-31. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Who's the MVP?
In double overtime, MVP Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Yes, I know I took the easy way out.
It's typically a quarterback. If
Yeah.
it very rarely is it not the quarterback. But okay. I also think the Chiefs are going to win. There's just something about the Chiefs. So I will say the Chiefs. I think it's probably going to be a little bit higher scoring. So I'll go 30. That's going to be the last score of the game. So let me go 37-34. Last score of the game, and I'm going to give the MVP to somebody other than Patrick Mahomes. You know what? I'll give it to Kelsey. Let's give it to Kelsey. Let's just make it his year. I'll give the MVP to Kelsey.
Yep. So our one viewer, he left a message for us, and I actually tend to agree with him on this. And he said the 2 best defenses in the league, and you guys think Super Bowl is going to be high scoring.
Okay, they're not the 2 best defenses in the league. Cleveland had the number 2 defense, so that comment right there is null and void. I believe San Fran was maybe top 10. They were not number 1. Unless I'm totally. Now, they are the 2 best defenses left playing because they're the only 2 teams left playing.
Right. So I actually think I don't know that they are the two best defenses
And a
left, but
top five defense. I'm sorry, Beebs. A top five defense was Dallas. I mean,
so it
you
doesn't. I
got
mean, this time of year it doesn't matter as much, but I do think I'm actually going to go a different route than you guys. I think the score is going to be a little bit lower, like a 24-21. Okay, and I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to win. But I do think your Super Bowl MVP is going to be like McCaffrey, something like that.
It's not going to be your boy Purdy?
I mean, it depends on what happens in the game, but I think McCaffrey's going to score their touchdowns, right? And he's going to, he's going to be the fulcrum for their offense. I think he's going to win the MVP.
I love Super Bowls where I could give a shit who wins. You know what I'm saying? I just, yeah. I had this conversation with our commenter earlier today. If you're gonna come at me with facts, back it the fuck up. Remember who you're talking to. But the reason that I think KC is gonna win is because they've had to go on the road and have won pretty convincingly. Not to take anything away from San Fran, they deserve to be there. Outside of barely beating the people that they had to at home, but they're gonna. I think the majority of fans. I think while KC travels well, I think you're going to see a lot of 49er fans there because of how close it is to San Fran.
So our watcher here is asking me to stand up for him, but unfortunately I can't because I just looked at the stats and the 49ers are ranked like 8th overall, but 26th in rushing defense. and Kansas City is 28th in rushing defense, like for the season. So it's like, it's more that it's not that
they are the two best defenses still playing.
Right. But it's more that you have the two most complete teams playing for the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Probably.
Detroit was pretty complete.
Yeah, they didn't throw the ball as well. I mean, that's the only difference, I would say. Detroit was also complete, but I'm saying the two left are the two most complete teams.
Jaguars were a complete disaster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right. So, KC, San Fran. All right. Over on the Taylor Swift.
Over.
Right?
Definitely over.
Over. They're going to show her more than... especially,
if
number
she's
one,
there.
they're going to show her every time motherfucking Kelsey scores.
Well, they're going to show her...
There's like 3 right there.
I think there's a tracker on the plane on when she's there. One. It's like Santa.
I was just about to say it's like the NORAD Santa tracker.
It's just like the Taylor Swift tracker, and it's right here, and that's going to be, and then they're on the way in, and then to the box, and then who she's sitting next to, and and then there's going to be all that. So,
my wife told me yesterday that Taylor Swift has her legs insured for $40 million.
It's probably not
like
too
Lloyd's
far
of
off.
London.
Yeah.
To put that into perspective, Tom Brady had his right arm insured for like $20 million.
Yeah.
Lloyd's of London.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
Dirk Diggler.
Yeah. Beebs is laughing. I would appreciate the hell if you've seen that movie, Beebs.
I haven't, but I know who Dirk Diggler is.
I would.
Great movie.
I would take back everything I've ever made fun of you if you would sit and watch Boogie Nights.
Great movie.
It is a great movie. It should have won some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Great
Not just
movie.
nominations, but some shit. All right. Well, we've beaten this to death. Anything else?
No.
Nope.
Nothing.
All right. Well, we had a fun-packed show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't hope nobody turned off and from St. Joe singing at the beginning. But we're here each Wednesday. You can tune in. We're on YouTube each Tuesday, and we had fun with the commenters tonight. So go check out all of our friends at unfpod.com with the Unfiltered Studios Podcast Network. Want to welcome in Victoria from the 12th Street Talkback podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
submitted today. So I don't know if this is really kind of her speed, but if you are listening, Victoria, we welcome you to the family. And go check out all the other great podcasts over at Unfiltered Studios and UNFPod.com. So there's nothing else. We hope everybody enjoys the Super Bowl, and I hope you enjoy the KC winning 35-31 with Patrick Mahomes as your MVP, and he gets to go to Disney World next week. So for St. Joe, for the Beast, my name is the Kev. We'll catch you guys next week.
Catch you on the flippity flop.